Hello and welcome. This is class number 50 of the UPSC Mains Answer Writing Initiative, meaning that including today's class, we have had 50 such sessions where we have discussed previous year questions asked by the UPSC, try and understand that topic, write an answer, and also give you a homework. I'm also very happy to see many people regularly watching this series and submitting their answers for evaluation. I really hope that this has been helping you strengthen your answer writing skills. If you are new here, let me tell you what do we do. Every single day at 7 p.m. we have this session where first we take our previous year question that UPSC has asked in the mains examination. We try and discuss that topic, try and answer that, what can be a model answer, and then give you a homework at the end, which if you want, you can submit for evaluation as well. And I personally evaluate that. Usually I take 2 to 3 days to send back your answer sheet. Also, if you are watching this for the first time, I would request you to hit that subscribe button if you have not done so far, and also invite other friends who are preparing for the UPSC examination and who can get help from such sessions to master mains answer writing. If you are new here and you don't know how to begin answer writing, I have a suggestion for you. Go to description of this video. You will find the link of the playlist. Go to the first class of this entire playlist. In the very first class, we had discussed how to structure the answer. What to write in the introduction, what to write in the conclusion, what to write in the main body. All these doubts would be clear if you just watch class number 1. So please do that right away so that you are clear. Now having done that, let's see what question are we taking up today. Today we are taking up a question asked by the UPSC in GS2 paper 2022. It's a question from IR, that is International Relations. The question is, India is an age-old friend of Sri Lanka. Discuss India's role in the recent crisis in Sri Lanka in the light of the preceding statement. So the question is straightforward, one of the most straightforward and easiest questions that you can find in IR. It's based on India-Sri Lanka relationship. As you know, Sri Lanka has been going through a lot of crises in the past few years, starting with the Easter bombing, then the COVID-19 crisis that shut down the entire tourism industry. Then some decisions taken by the political leaders in Sri Lanka did not bode well for their economy. All in all, Sri Lanka has been in a spot of bother for a long time now. Many countries, including India, have come out for help, and this is what the question is asking. India's role in the recent crisis in Sri Lanka. Now, you might have read a lot of things about India-Sri Lanka relationship. You don't have to mention a lot of the past. You have to mention in the current context the role of India. That is why whenever I teach IR and everyone asks me what books should they read for IR, my answer is always that you don't need a book for IR. In the GS part, most of the IR questions will be based on current affairs. No book will tell you what has happened in the past few months. That knowledge you have to gather yourself from newspapers, from current affair magazines, etc. That is why reading a specific book for IR will not really help you out in such cases, because books will only tell you a background of the relationship rather than telling you what has happened in the current context. So we'll start this answer. First, the introduction part. As you know, introduction is a fact or a definition. In IR questions, there is no definition as such. In IR questions, you have to talk about a fact, underlining how close India and Sri Lanka have been since the past. India-Sri Lanka relations have blossomed because you have a lot of common factors, including culture, religion, and language. It has been strengthened by multiple Indian policies, including Neighborhood First and Saga Doctrine. So something like this can be introduction to establish the fact that India-Sri Lanka have always shared a fruitful relationship which is mutually beneficial for both, where India has played the role of a bigger brother by extending a lot of assistance. Something like this can be the intro. Main body specifically has to be about the role of India in the current crisis, because that is what the question is about. So we'll first start with financial assistance. So what you can do here is you can have different subheadings: financial assistance, humanitarian assistance. For example, let's say there's a disaster in any country, and when we send our security forces, when we send our National Disaster Management Authority or National Disaster Management Forces, that is a humanitarian assistance. All those can be written here. Then they can be medical aid that India provides. So we'll start with financial assistance. In these kind of questions, it's important to have your facts, your numbers correct. Without having exact numbers, exact data, you won't be able to get a credible answer on the sheet. So India has provided aid worth $3.8 billion, which is India's largest bilateral aid program. Line of credit, forex reserves. Now you don't have to mention all of these because you won't be able to remember all of them by the time that you sit in the examination hall. So whatever you remember, whichever pointers you remember, try and go ahead with that. Humanitarian aid, this includes medical supplies, this includes humanitarian assistance worth $16 million committed specifically by Tamil Nadu. Then certain specific sectors were held by India. India supplied a lot of nano urea. Sri Lanka randomly decided overnight that they will be 100% organic country. There was a dearth of organic fertilizers. They first asked China to supply some, but there was some contamination. Then they turned towards India. All that mess was created by Sri Lanka, where India gave a helping hand. International assistance, where India backed Sri Lanka's claims at multiple forums, be it the forums such as the IMF, be it collaborating with Japan to get aid to Sri Lanka. All these and many more can be examples, or are examples that can be quoted here in the main. It depends really upon that particular day when you're sitting in the examination hall, how many examples you remember. What we are discussing is kind of a model answer, an ideal answer. You might not remember all these points in the examination. We'll conclude this by saying how India's approach to Sri Lanka has put India in a good position with respect to other neighboring countries as well, for them to learn and understand the fact that they can depend on India in the times of their need. Our doctrines such as the Saga doctrine, which is security and growth for all, and the neighborhood first policy have been in display when India-Sri Lanka talks or India-Sri Lanka relationship is seen with a microscope. That is how we can conclude this particular answer. Now time for homework for you. This is your homework. How does technology contribute to both enabling and combating cheating during examinations? What steps can India take to develop a more secure and cutting-edge examination system? Very, very relevant question with respect to what is happening these days. We saw cancellation of the UGC NET examination. We saw all these controversy about the NEET examination. In that background, this kind of a question can be expected. It is extremely, extremely relevant. Try and write an answer to this in 200 words. If you want, I'll be happy to evaluate that. You can send it here on this email ID. If you do send it, please make sure send it in the PDF form. That becomes easier for me to evaluate. Give me a couple of days or 3 days maximum and I'll report with the answer. Thank you so much. Once again reminding you, do hit the subscribe button, and also, as you know, I am running the Mastering Mains Answer Writing program, which is a one-on-one mentorship program to help you master the skill of answer writing. If you have any questions on how to join, again, this is the email ID where you can contact me. Thank you so much. I'll see you in the next one. Bye-bye. Jai Hind.